What's up guys, it's Lavelle here with Purtle Sports, and today we're finally going to compare cornhole lights and find out which one's superior. Is it made in China or made in America? Stick around, let's find out. First up, we have the China lights. They come with screws and mounts pre-attached to the lights, which is nice. There's also a sticky back on the back of the battery pack, which makes it very easy for install. All you need is a handheld screwdriver or a power drill. Install the screws, make sure it's centered, pull the sticky, and attach. You're good to go. Next up are the tailgating lights. These guys come with a screwdriver and screws, but no instructions, so we don't know what to use the screws for. The lights have a clamp system that helps them clamp into the hole without needing to be secured. I guess they need to be secured because they're pretty loose. But take the battery pack, patches off the back, stick it in, and good. For the Miles lights, they come with attachments, they come with screws, and they come with lights and battery pack and switch for external use. We went ahead and attached the mounts, and they come with screws, but they are very long and they're actually very hard to screw in by hand. So we're using smaller screws that we've found around the house, which makes it a lot simpler, a lot faster, and without the use of a power tool to install them. The good part about these lights are that they are rechargeable, so they come in this very nice case that you can use to secure your rechargeable battery pack, and it also comes with an external switch that you can plug in and drill a hole through your board to use the external switch to turn on and function the lights. Unfortunately, there are also no instructions with this guy, so it may take a while to figure out if you haven't seen the video, but we'll include a link to the video in the description. The Purtle hole lights come with instructions and links to videos on how to install the lights, as well as clips, screws, and pretty much everything you need. Essentially, you attach the mounts to the lights one by one and stretch out the lights, and then go along the lights as you screw them in and any pattern you want. Some people do around the hole, some people do them as accent lighting around some other part of the board, which is pretty cool. The other feature that these lights have are that they flash and pulse, as well as have a unique battery mount system that allows them to be slid on and off of a screw instead of being stuck with a sticky back to underneath the board, which makes it hard to pull off, hard to take out the batteries, replace the batteries. It's very convenient. You screw in the screw and you go along and slide the battery pack onto the screw and tighten it down to your liking. And once you're all hooked up, you're good to go. The Purtle lights are also very simple to install. They come with plenty of mounts and screws, as well as an external switch to use. You can either drill through your board and plug the switch in to access the lights through the outside of the board, or you can zip tie the switch down to underneath the board. You can use the switch that way. But One of the things that we did have issues with is the screws were a little too long, so we weren't able to screw them completely down by hand, and there was no real way to mount the battery pack. But besides that, these worked perfectly fine. Yeah, if you're trying to take the switch off, it may be a little tough, but they're on here nice and tight, so great build quality. So to rank these guys on install time, it's a little difficult. Some of the lights have hole switches, some of them don't. But number 5 would be the Miles lights, the 5-minute install, because they have a lot of attachments, a lot of sweet features, and some switches that would, if you wanted, need to be drilled into the hole. Next up is the Purtle lights, 5 minutes. There are lots of attachments and it's a little squirrely to install these, so they're number 4. Purtle lights are number 3 at 3+ minutes. If you didn't want to install the hole for the switch, it'd be 3-minute install because, you know, they're pretty sweet like that. Next up, number 2 are the China lights. The mounts are pre-installed on the lights, which is nice. And number 1 would be the tailgate light. Pretty simple, pretty fast, but you get what you pay for with drawbacks in the quick install, so buyer beware. So here are the pictures at 0 hours on these batteries. We've got the China lights. As you can see, there is a little bit of a glare because you can see directly into the lights, which is a drawback. You've got the tailgate lights, which has a bigger issue because you can see all of the LEDs, and if you're sensitive to the glare of the lights, you'll definitely have an issue with these. Next up, you've got the Miles lights. Pretty nice underglow. There you can't see the LEDs, but you can see a lot of the hole, which is nice. And you've got the Pro Glow lights. It has a little bit less glow, but still plenty to see if you're playing at night. And lastly, you've got the Purtle lights, which are very bright, a nice casting underneath, and possibly some glare from the lights in the back. But that's with 0 batteries, or 0 hours, new batteries. Let's take a look at some burn time. Our last test that we did was the final burn time, so we burned these guys out. The China lights made it to 180 hours, which is pretty impressive. The tailgate lights made it to 120 hours, but like we said before, they did kind of explode. So, you know, not too impressed. Next up is the Miles lights that made it to 70 hours. Then the Pro Glow lights made it to 228 hours. Pretty impressive. Not to top the other 4, we've got the Purtle lights, who are still rolling after 300+ hours. We did the math, and these lights are designed to last a very long time. So if you're looking for lights that'll last a long time, Purtle lights are the way to go. Alright, our final thoughts on the China lights are that they did really well. A lot better than we thought they would do compared to some of the Made in America lights. They made install very quick and very easy with the screws and the mounts already attached to the lights, and the patch on the back of the battery pack, as long as the 2 AA batteries, makes it very cheap to replace the lights and very simple to install. So our final thoughts on the tailgating lights is that these are a great idea. Having lights that install through the top of the board, great concept if you're not a serious cornhole player. There are definitely drawbacks to these lights. First off, as you drop anything on the top of the board, you're going to have interference with gameplay, bags sliding into the hole. In addition to that, if there's no way to secure the lights, you're going to have things moving around. And if that wasn't everything, you've got batteries that blow up inside of the battery pack. So, all in all, would not suggest these lights, but if you want to get them, why not? So our final thoughts on the Miles lights are that these lights are great for people who like to have, something different when they play cornhole. Sometimes you'll want red lights, sometimes you may want blue lights, sometimes you just want to flash and disco all night, or you may want to have different people choose different modes for each game. So these lights are great because they have so many different modes. The battery pack is also rechargeable, so you won't have to be looking for AA batteries, AAA batteries whenever the lights go out. Just take these off, plug them in, and you're good to go for the next round. We would definitely recommend the Miles lights for anyone who likes to play cornhole. Our final thoughts on the Pro Glow hole lights. These lights aren't very fancy, they're not very high tech, they're not very complicated, but they are fairly reliable. They do give a nice consistent glow, and they do have some cool functions, flash, pulse, things like that. These are on the cheaper end of the scale, so if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, something more reliable, but something that still works, we would recommend the Pro Glow hole lights. Our final thoughts on the Purtle lights are that these lights are a beast. The batteries last over 300 hours. The install is simple. It's great for builders and people who love to play cornhole and are serious about cornhole because it has a switch that you can use and attach through the back of the board, which is, a very nice feature for people who love to customize boards. Long battery life, great build quality, and great construction. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Share this video with your friends. Make sure they don't choose the wrong lights. If you need some more advice, go ahead and click over to the links below. We've got install videos for some of the lights from the builders. We've also got links directly to where to buy these lights. So once again, thank you guys for watching the video. Share, like, and pick up some lights for your cornhole. We'll see you later.